if you've done some craziness that is not beneficial to their company, they'll hold it.
For disparaging Diddy and Kanye West and threatening to release his pornographic tape which depicts a large gay man pulling him to a pound town and tearing open his ass, 50 Cent has faced criticism from Vivica Fox. Everything became unmanageable since the reports are swirling, and Vivica is determined to hold 50 Cent responsible for revealing what is allegedly a secret between Diddy and Kanye West. 50 was beginning to display some bravery after discussing Diddy and Kanye West for a while. Since nobody anticipated that Viva would intervene and check him as she did, 50 Cent is most likely expecting that he remains silent. Even though Viva and 50 Cent have been at odds for a while, it appears like she will be getting her leg back in the messiest way possible. However, does Vivica actually own the recording, or is she merely attempting to harm 50 Cent's reputation? What prevented her from publishing it sooner, if at all? Let's get started. Everyone has been holding out for the ideal moment to reveal 50 Cent's deceit, and she has finally had it. However, 50 chose to defeat Diddy and Kanye West once more, which ultimately forced Viva to come clean about 50 Cent. What was the reason behind her words? Many of her millions of Instagram followers were horrified when she showed them the incredibly repulsive video of 50 Cent riding a gay horse. She also claimed that he was a bottom and that another man was taking him to Pound Town. Hey everyone, what's going on? It makes sense that everyone wants to know how Viva got this awful movie. If nothing else, that's the kind of thing 50 would use to defend his existence, given his tendency to attack other men for being gay. However, supporters think Viva made a really wise decision. According to some who have allegedly seen the movie that Vivica claims to have, the other man is a gay man for money who was well liked in Hollywood for serving famous men. If you already thought that was bizarre enough, things are going to get even stranger. Move and pay your gay guy 50 cents for the video. Hotter still. First, insiders claim that 50 Cent, the man in the video, is the same person who allegedly gave Diddy and Kanye freakouts. You know, the same freak off for which 50 Cent was mocking them. As a result, it becomes clear why 50 acted in such a manner toward them. Might have been harboring jealousy through mockery. If you believe Vivica is just making this up because Vicky is her ex and she's trying to get her leg back in, you're mistaken. Several Hollywood people have seen this clip and verified that it is real. Even though this situation is awful, fans don't feel sorry for 50 Cent because he has been making fun of Diddy too much. We all know Diddy is a bad man, but 50 Cent is a truly nasty guy who allegedly did some pretty horrible things to people. That's the problem. Has been criticizing Diddy not for being a horrible person but for being on the DL, which makes Viva's video even more bizarre. However, he has been going overboard lately, and Viva felt compelled to do just that. As the majority of you probably know, 50 Cent has been, even though he has been in control of everything and has been mocking Diddy for years with the rumors, private parties, and messy lawsuits, he went all out last week by entangling Kanye West in these chaotic brands. The timing was odd because this happened hours after videos of Kanye's appearance. Wearing all-white clothing to Diddy's trial was a choice.
In the middle, Kanye West. No, Kanye. Kanye.
However, for apparent reasons, his all-white attire reminded people of Diddy's all-white parties, which Kanye West was rumored to have attended. At first, we all assumed that Kanye was there to support his friend, but 50 quickly clarified this to set the scene. 50 Cent were wearing white in honor of the freakouts. He rode alongside an high-generated photo of himself dressed entirely in white, mocking Kanye and his wife Bianca. This is where things start to get difficult. Oh my god, you should have brought your filthy little wife to the Grammys. Began to decline, though not as much as what we did to him later. Alright, let's talk about Vivica's latest retorts. According to Twitter users, Kanye actually went to the trial because he was told by someone that his name would be the next to be mentioned. Did his name come up? And why is 50 Cent making fun of him and his wife, Viva, even though we knew he was there to watch the trial proceedings? Kanye isn't specifically named during the trial, But Jane Doe's testimony suggested that he tried these freak-offs in addition to, and Bianca reportedly went through their own freakouts as well. On the evening of January 2024, Jane Doe was heavily questioned after she supposedly found herself in a Las Vegas hotel room with a male escort, another well-known rapper, and a number of other people. Despite the fact that the rapper's identity was concealed, it was intended to be a birthday celebration for the rapper's wife or girlfriend, according to Jane Doe, but she was taken aback to see a male performer Diddy often used for the wild. 3. Combs' attorney Tony Gagos called him a legend in the business. As Twitter users have pointed out, Jane said that she and Diddy were aware that the unidentified rapper in question often traveled with her during their 3.5-year relationship, but she was nonetheless shocked by his outrageous conduct at the freak-off. There are multiple indications that Kanye is the greatest choice, especially considering his prominence in the music business. He acknowledges that he has always been a legend, even though he has been moving on with Lil Wild in recent years. But what truly makes him stand out is that the interesting aspect is learning that the freak-off was for the rapper's wife's birthday. As you may recall, January is Bianca's birthday month. If you've been paying attention, Jane Doe has said that the Vegas freak-off took place in January 2024. In January 2024, Kanye and Bianca were in Vegas, as you can obviously predict. But was Kanye hiding anything wild, or was his Vegas getaway harmless? Everyone in the courtroom could easily identify the source, according to a court reporter monitoring the case.
According to Jane Doe, she had been broken up with Diddy at this time. Diddy was busy. He had Young Miami, Jessie, Gina in rotation. She was on a trip with a different rapper named Bear, and they were in Vegas, and she goes to dinner with this rapper for his wife's birthday, and then afterwards, they go to a hotel, and there's an that she recognizes there named Anton, and she's like, oh my god, like, why are you here? Like, I recognize you, because she obviously did freak-offs. So this other celebrity had hired this or Anton to have sex with a woman. So they go to this hotel room, and there's 7 to 8 people, she said, just staring, watching this rapper. So there's this banging this woman, and there's 7 to 8 people watching. And at one point, she even took her top off, she said, because she was in the moment. And the famous rapper went up to her and said, I think you're very beautiful. I always wanted to F you. Now, not many rappers have wives with birthdays in January, so you guys can do the math, and you guys can figure out who it is.
And to conclude with a sweet little bow, the fact that Kanye appeared in court the day after Jane Doe made those accusations seems a bit too coincidental, and 50 Cent asserts that Kanye was trying to ascertain how. This is why he was supporting Diddy when he was out in Vegas with that little dirtbag, 50 Cent said, continuously disparaging him. This is the twisted part, though, and the reason why many people think Viva might be held accountable for endorsing Diddy and Kanye, as it has come to light that these two men have allegedly been involved in some unpleasant incidents that were most likely illegal. Did you all know, for example, that there have been stories going all the way back to the early Remember This video where Meth Man claimed to have seen Kanye West engage in some mouth action with Diddy while they were having an affair at a party in the mid-2000s?
Kanye West, I hate that, man. Plus, I seen the nigga at one of the parties and just in the bathroom.
Or there's more to the freak-off than just the unsettling appearance. Did Kanye also hint at some real freak-off stuff in his song from 15 years ago, The New Workout Plan? As you may know, Kanye even made references to out-party memberships in his earlier lyrics. Who did he feature? Can you guess? The rapper is known as Hit Diddy. But why would Vivica stand up for anyone at all? Such as this. We're about to see a whole new level of insanity, even if it seems like things can't get any worse. Together with Diddy, he set up a rant board and yelled stuff like, UBBs were not SA. I apologize for writing now in all capital letters. You failed to get SA and gave me 2 Bs. Ninjas were extorted by you, which translates to man bees mean bees. Furthermore, he said, my supporter, Puff, is very self-centered. The one who has been trying to out Black Mogul is the one I've been looking for. I'm going to give Justin half of it because I just found out that Puff isn't allowed to make or receive money while he's in prison. Have I set Puff free? Was it the money or the fighting that made Puff win my heart? I've never been so thoroughly grabbed by a broke ninja. It turns out that Kanye was right about getting me too, as singer. Nikki Heaton said that Diddy and Kanye tried to woo her. She was overjoyed when Kanye contacted her to say he wanted to collaborate with her because, well, who wouldn't be excited when it's Kanye West? But as soon as she and her manager got to the studio, things started to become weird. There were Diddy and perhaps 9 other ladies present, and the whole place had an odd vibe. It wasn't astonishing, to be honest, given all the charges and stories going around about Diddy and Spike's drinking, but Nikki stated that they were given drinks and later found out that they had been tampered with.
He was sitting across from me, and if you know about like my past and like us being together, like I noticed as I was standing there just like wondering what's going on, Diddy kept looking at me and Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and like they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're like watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink, and like I'm not actually doing it. And like that seemed to like make them happy, like me like pretending to like to join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I realized that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off their shit. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and me, alone. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I haven't started freaking out yet. Like, I know what the situation is, and they're like out of their minds. And they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, come on, like it's just us, like we're all just friends, like let us just like see like how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And like I still haven't gotten scared yet, like I'm still like, this is a bad situation, I'm creeped out, but like there's no reason to panic, there's other men here. Hold on a second. No time to see it back. Yeah, so they're coming towards me, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where my manager is, I don't know where anyone is. And they're coming towards me more, and they're trying to like take my clothes off. And I'm like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm like still trying to like play it off, just like, stop, you guys are stupid, like get out of here, like don't touch me. Okay, so let me just get to the point. So they start trying, like they're like pawing at me, like they're both drunk, probably on something else, and I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like there's only one exit, and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop, like stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And like I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me, and I'm like, you guys, like seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like we know him pretty well. Like we've been around him a lot.
Now, the freak off is more than just an unsettling phenomenon. Did Kanye also hint at some real freak off stuff in his song from 15 years ago, The New Workout Plan? As you may know, Kanye even made references to odd party memberships in his earlier lyrics. Who did he feature? Can you guess? The rapper is known as Hit Diddy, but why would Vivica stand up for anyone at all? He and Diddy got into a heated argument during which he yelled things like, UBBs were not SA, although it may seem that there is nothing more crude. Believe me when I say that we are going to see a whole new level of insanity. I apologize for writing "na" in all capital letters. You failed to get SA and gave me 2 Bs. Ninjas were extorted by you, which translates to men Bs mean bees. Additionally, he said, My supporter, Puff, is very self-centered. The one who has been trying to out Black Mogul is the one I've been looking for. I'm going to give Justin half of it because I just found out that Puff isn't allowed to make or receive money while he's in prison. Have I set Puff free? Was it the money or the fighting that made Puff win my heart? I've never been so affected by a broken ninja. It turns out that Kanye was right about getting me too, as singer Nikki Heaton claims that both Diddy and Kanye tried to woo her. When Kanye contacted her and said he wanted to collaborate with her, she was overjoyed who wouldn't be when it's Kanye West. But when she and her manager got to the studio, things rapidly became weird. The mood felt odd, and I didn't expect to see Diddy there with maybe 9 other women. To be honest, it wasn't all that stunning given all the charges and stories going around about Diddy and Spike's drinking. Nicki stated they were handed drinks but subsequently found they had been tampered with.
Your thoughts when 50 Cent blamed the second season ratings dip on gay stuff?
First of all, the pot calling the kettle black is all I'm saying.
Ooh. The pot calling the kettle black. Huh.
Whoa. That was some tea. That was shade. That was major shade.
Pot calling the kettle black. So, I mean, you're not insinuating that
he's
50
gay?
Cent is...
Oh, my Lord, please. What? Girl, we gotta talk after this episode is over.
Wait, Vivica A. Fox, what are you insinuating?
Well, I mean,
he gave you...
No, he's not. I mean, we had a great time. I mean, but he's just seems like he's got something that's not quite clear. So
you mean sometimes if people protest too much about something,
yes,
the fire is happening right there in front of them.
Absolutely. I'll just never forget there was a Vibe cover with him and Soulja Boy that made me kind of go,
But when she came out as gay to Wendy Williams in private, she went one step further. And Wendy, being Wendy, couldn't help but tell the truth on her show. However, Vivica wasn't done with 50 because she even tried to reveal she commented, "Tell you what, 50 cents, since you keep on telling that lie, I challenge you both to let's go on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live, and we could put this to use." Next to a photo of 50 with cosmetics, although the remainder never happened, Jaguar Right, Queen, also claimed that 50 Cent and Soulja Boy had a sexual encounter.
You know, Soulja Boy, I just want to say this about Soulja Boy. Y'all gotta give him a little bit of latitude because he a victim.
The expose is popping off.
You know, he been in the rap game since he was little, just like Weezy.
Yeah.
And he's been ran through quite a bit.
No, she didn't say that. Whoa.
You know
that information.
You don't remember when he was in New York and they called him
from one thing to
whoever his big daddy was threw him out into the hallway. He was walking around in the hallway holding his nut. This couple has actually appeared on a magazine cover together. That's why he's always able to call other on being a swish. Birds of a feather flock together.
That's true.
Game recognized game. There's no way in the world that man understands that much about homosexual dealings in the industry, is constantly calling people out, and he ain't seen none of it personally.
Thus, despite the fact that this is filthy, it is not similar to the video of 50 being beaten by homosexuals, and if 50 continues to make fun of Diddy and Kanye, we may see 50's pornographic tape. Contrary to appearances, Vivica isn't merely pulling strands out of the air about him being publicly beaten from behind, but I was curious about your thoughts on this. Is Vivica only envious? Or is it all smoke, mirrors, and lies? Is Vivica's decision to leave the video as payback messy, in your opinion? Or do you think this might? Please view the following video and then leave a comment below to let me know how you guys feel about this. Is 50 hiding more than anyone knew? Or is this just small-time retaliation?